My name is Bonaventure. Welcome to our ICT class. Today, we are going to look at computer files. And as we look at computer files, we will learn something on the elements of computer file, types of computer files, basic file design and storage. We'll also look at file organization, file access methods, and so forth. To begin with, a computer file is a specific piece of data that is held on a computer system. A computer file is made up of a name that creates the file's identity and an extension that tells the operating system and associated programs what type of file it is. Therefore, elements of computer file include the following. 1. Character. A character is the smallest element in a file and can be alphabetic, numeric, or can also be made up of digits. For example, it can be made up of 7-digit or 8-digit bits, depending on the character of coding scheme that may be used. So, the first thing is character. The next is field. A field is a single character or a collection of characters that represents a single piece of data. An item of data within a record is called a field. An item of data within a record is called a field, as it is made up of a number of characters, e.g. a name, data, or amount. For example, we may have students' admission numbers as an example of a field. Therefore, a field is made up of characters. From a field, we move next to the record, and I will define what a record is. A record is made up of a number of related fields. For example, a student record or an employee payroll record. So, once having created a file, one must have the means of access to a particular records within the file. And what gives you access to particular records within the file is the key field of that record. What is the key field? 2, let us also look at basic file design and storage. Data can be stored in various methods. For example, it can be stored on disks and tapes, or both, capable of storing very large files. But very large files are stored more economically on magnetic tapes. So files can be stored in disks and tapes, and also if it is to last longer, it can be stored on a magnetic tape. Also, we have also certain designs. For example, percentage of additions or deletions in file maintenance, if low, may allow satisfactory organization of indexed or random files, but if high, will make sequential organization more attractive. That is, if a file is likely to increase in size, then the design of an indexed or random file must allow for it. If it's to increase in size, then the design of an indexed or random file must allow for it. Hence, a file must be organized in a proper way. And the purpose of a file, if a file is to be used online and a direct access method is needed, and therefore index, sequential or random organization method will be appropriate. Also, when designing a file, we also look at the response time. This is the time taken from when data starts to be processed to when the output can be obtained. For example, the response time for random processing should be short to facilitate immediate access. Also, as we design the files, as we organize the files, we also have to look at the size. A file is measured in terms of length and size of the record in the files. There are two major record formats. That is fixed length format and variable length format. The size, you look at the fixed length format, or sometimes you may use the variable length format. Also, when designing when you design also a file, you have also to look at the costs that is involved in the design of a file. If it is a direct access storage media, those ones are usually more expensive than sequential access. Also, when designing a file, we look at volatility. That is the rate of amending, deleting, adding, or multiplying of files. We also look at the hit rate. This is measured by the number of records that can be accessed at a given time. Run applications, for example, run applications per period. Therefore, all that points to the following: how to access a file. You can access a file sequentially. That is, you start reading at the beginning, and you read it from the beginning and read it through to the end in that order. That means sequentially you start from A to Z. You read from the first to the end. There is also a direct method of accessing files. In the direct method, individual blocks in a file have unique address. Access is by jumping to a vicinity plus sequential search each of a disk. A file also can be accessed at random. For example, individual address can identify memory locations, e.g. random access memory, RAM. So, we can access files either sequentially or direct or randomly. Therefore, my good students, I would like you to research more, and then by researching more, you will be able to know the operation of files in a computer and the importance of files in a computer. Therefore, with those few remarks on computer files, we come to the end of our lessons. Until next time, goodbye for now.